Hello, friends. Welcome back. Let us start the new chapter called Vertical Stress. Vertical stress. Okay. Now, let us first see what is meant by a stress. So, in general, we will represent this by using the symbol sigma. So, what is meant by a stress? Is it applied force by area? No. It is always the resisting force per unit area. To be in equilibrium, the resisting force should be equal to the applied force. So obviously, while getting the answer, you will take the applied load by area, but that actually it is the resisting force per unit area. If material is not showing any resistance, then it is not in equilibrium, then their stress won't develop. So always here you can say resisting force per unit area. So here we are talking about the vertical stress. So vertical stress is also nothing but we can find out by using whatever the total force up to that point divided by area. So here we are having different types of stresses. Nothing but we are having total stress, and also we are having the pore water pressure, or we can also call it as a neutral stress. And also we are having the effective stress. So total stress in general we will represent by using sigma, and pore water pressure or neutral stress we are representing with small u, and effective stress we will represent by using the sigma dash. So the father of the soil mechanics, Dr. Karl Terjagi, has proposed the effective stress. So it is useful in so many, it is useful, this parameter is useful in so many ways in engineering constructions also. So if you want to study the strength of any material, the effective stress is the most important thing. So here, effective stress, that is nothing but it is the stress transferred from soil grain to the soil grain. Okay. Let us discuss in brief about these 3 points. Total stress. So what is mean by a total stress? As we have said, it is represented by using the symbol sigma. So total stress we will find out by using weight divided by cross-sectional area. Here it is nothing but a total weight. That means, let us consider, let us say this is a natural deposit of the soil, and wherever you want to find out the stress, suppose let us say, if I want to find out the stress along this layer, or if I want to stress any a point along this layer, then we will find out how that will be equal to weight divided by A. That means above this point, whatever the total weight of the soil mass divided by the cross-sectional area of this mass, then that is nothing but a total stress acting at that point. So always remember, imagine that if you want to find out the stress at this point, imagine that your hand is at this point and feel how much weight is acting up to that point, then that is representing by W divided by A. Suppose imagine in your hand if you are carrying an 5 kg block. So what is the stress generated by your hand? That is nothing but a, if it is 5 kg, whatever the force, 5 into acceleration due to gravity 10, 50 divided by whatever the cross sectional area of the rod you are using. So wherever you want to find out the stress up to that point, you have to understand what about the total load or what about the total weight. Then that is nothing but a total stress at that point. Okay, next. Let us talk about the pore water pressure, or we will call it as a neutral stress. So as we have discussed, this is represented by the small u. So this is nothing but a pressure because of the water. Suppose let us say that your soil is submerged soil. Let us assume that. So let us assume that I want to find out pore water pressure at this point. So imagine if you keep your hand here. So how many weights you will feel? There will be soil particles, and also in between the soil particles you are also having the water in the voids. So as there is a water in the voids, because of those water also there will be some pressure acting at that point. So that also we have to consider it. So how can we find out that stress? We are already, that weight is already included, right? In which parameter? Total stress. But because of this water only, what about the stress acting at that point? How can we find out? So if you recall in fluid mechanics, we have used the piezometer. What's been a piezometer? Wherever you want to find out the stress because of the water, what you will do? You take a piezometer and then you keep it wherever you want to find out. So the water level will rise in the piezometer up to the water table. Where is your water table? Your water table is up to this point. That means your water level rise up to this point. So you, wherever you want to find out the pore water pressure, you have to note down the reading of the piezometer. Imagine if it is rising to a height of h. So whatever the pressure caused by the water, gamma W is the weight density of the water into water raised in the piezometer. So always remember that wherever you want to find out the piezometer, imagine a small vertical tube, place at that point, and water level will rise up to the point wherever you are having the water table. So up to that point you will have the, by using that height you can find out the pore water pressure. Sir, if I keep 100 diameter piezometer, will the water level rise? Obviously no. The diameter, if you remember in fluid mechanics, capillary rise will not occur when your dia of the tube, if it is greater, not greater than the 6 mm. So here also we have to make sure that your piezometer diameter should not be greater than 6 mm, or else imagine a very very small tube you have placed it. So obviously the water level will rise up to the water table. So it is not like in the examination hall they will provide us the PG meter and we have to keep it. No, it is not like that. Imagine a small vertical tube and then raise the water level up to the water table. Then you will get the pore water pressure. Okay. So here what about we call H, we will call it as a pressure head, which will call it as a pressure head, or else we can also call it as a depth of the water in a piezometer. So this is what about the finding the pore water pressure. Now let us talk about the new effective stress. The name itself implies effective stress. That means a steady effective. What does it mean? The more concentration we have to keep. That means if you are having some natural, let us consider some natural soil deposit, and imagine that it is also water table is also presented there. And what you will see, you will observe solid particles and also you will observe water between the solid particles. Effective is nothing but a, if you are taking two soil grains, so the stress transform directly to the one soil grain to the another soil grain. So it is nothing but a granular intergranular pressure. So effective I will also call it as a intergranular pressure. That means the stress transfer from one soil particle to the another soil particle. But if you are talking about the total stress, it is because of the combined everything. So this can be find out sigma dash. That is nothing but a, always this is nothing but a total stress minus pore water pressure. So effective stress is always equal to the total stress minus pore water pressure. So for a given soil deposit, first you have to find out the total stress, and then wherever you want to find out the stress, put a piezometer there and observe the pressure head and then subtract that value in the total stress. Then you will get the effective stress. Okay. This is what about the different vertical stresses that we will use for the some purposes that we'll see in the coming lectures. Okay. In the next video, we will find out the these three parameters for different types of soil deposits. Thank you.